Hey, what's up guys? So today I want to keep talking about how you can study 12 plus hours, and motivation is absolutely fundamental if you want to study 12 plus hours every day. I go for a 14 hours schedule, but already being able to manage 12 hours schedule is very good. So if you want to do that, motivation is really important for you. It is absolutely fundamental that you develop motivation, but I want to talk more about this because I just mentioned it briefly in a previous video of mine, this one, and I will link it here if you want to check it out. It's really short, and it's really the core of why somebody can manage to study 14 hours every day or 12 plus hours. But I want to get more in depth with the idea of motivation because I didn't really have the time to explain what it means. So first thing that you have to keep in mind with motivation, I saw this can help you as well. I remember watching these videos about motivational videos when I was like 16 years old, and they would really help me. The one that comes to mind, probably the best one, I think, is Unbroken by Matthäus B, and also Why Do We Fall, and also the speech of Al Pacino at Any Given Sunday, the movie. So these are like the three videos about motivation, and I think they really encapsulated the spirit of motivation. So motivation is what you can see in those videos. There is a great quote in one of these videos that I definitely recommend you guys check it out, which says, "It's hard to kill the human spirit." And that is really the core of motivation. That's the type of strength that you want to go for. I remember being even depressed when I was very young, and it was kind of a dark period of time when I stumbled upon these videos, and they would help, and they still help me to this day. And they are very precious. You don't want to overdo them, and definitely we will talk about this, but they are great. If you feel down, watching one of these videos, it can really be helpful. Again, the spirit of motivation is defined by these videos. I would say especially Unbroken, that one video. I think if you want to really understand motivation, it is basically there. The spirit is there. Motivation is like it's like fire, raging fire in darkness. But the problem is that you want that to be self-sustaining, be long-lasting. You need it. It can't just be a fire one day and then nothing afterwards. You need it to be self-sustaining in the long run because you want to stay motivated for years to come. A bachelor or a PhD, or even in general your own life. If you are motivated about what you're doing, you will do it better. You will do it 100%. You will really be into it. So you really want motivation to be long-lasting and not just very short. And people really need this. We need to look for inspirational examples. We need to look for motivational examples. We need these figures in our lives, whether they are through videos or books or real life people that we meet. People really need these sort of figures, which you can think of somewhat like heroes. They are really important, and to have these around is really helpful. Like right now with YouTube and videos and in general online communities, you have them in your hand basically, and that's so advantageous. Like think about your grandmother or your grandfather. They could have not have that. You literally have a library and a video library in your own pocket. So that's a great advantage that I would not ignore. As an objective for myself, I always write down, okay, read or watch or in some measure have contact with something inspirational or motivational every day, at least for like 10 minutes or something like that. Just put that little input inside you, and that can be very helpful. You shouldn't overdo it, But to have inspirational figures and motivational figures in your life and every day can be extremely helpful. So I for me it's an objective to do that at least 10 minutes every day. You can do it too. You don't have to, but it can be very helpful, especially for studying, because some days you might feel very down, and one of those videos, there's an entire genre about it, so it's really a lot of videos, or maybe even a passage from a book or someone that is actually in your real life. And if you feel down one day and you have that, you might find the strength to keep studying and finish the day on a high note. So they can be extremely helpful, but you don't want to overdo it. So of course you want motivation to be long lasting. How can you do that? You need to ask yourself the really meaningful questions, to really answer that question, that first question. Like, who are you? Who really are you? What do you want to do really 24/7? What are you aiming at? What is your vision? The one thing, I am at 26 years old, I am not that old, but as far as I can tell, I've been having a certain vision that I want to bring in the world. And this is something that it's been long lasting in me. So it's not something that just came one day and was gone the next. It was long lasting. And to keep the motivation in the long run, you need to root the motivation in something that is long lasting, and a vision, a meaningful vision, like something you really care about, that only you can know about, because it's extremely personal. That one thing must be the core of your own motivation, and you sort of link the two, and one will give life to the other, and it will be long lasting. I still have the same vision I had 6 years ago, and I'm still going for it, and I'm still feeling super motivated to do it, because it's a very meaningful vision, and you need to find that very meaningful vision, and then you can relate it to the motivation, and that will be long lasting. I still feel super motivated to do that. Of course, along the way, bad things can happen. It's life, So of course you can have some ups and downs. You can't be 100% or 200% all the times, but it's definitely something that helps the long run. As far as I can tell, I still have that same vision, and it's still thrilling and exciting, and it gets me fired up, And that's motivation. That's the fire I was talking about. Fire in darkness. That's motivation. But you need to find a very meaningful vision, or it won't work. You need to be very meaningful for you. It needs to be an emotional core for you. It needs to really fire you up. Otherwise, if someone picked it for you, or if you're not 100% in, or at least an 80% in, or a 70, you name it, but you need to be in to a core emotional level. Otherwise, the fire won't burn without the emotion. And you need that if you want to be fired up and excited about what you're doing. Otherwise you won't. This is where discipline comes into place, because discipline and motivation can turn into something extremely interesting when they put them together. So discipline would be to develop the habit of, watch something or do something inspirational or motivational every day. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's watching, maybe it's doing. You name it, but it needs to be done every day for 10 minutes. And that's discipline. You discipline yourself to do that as a routine. So it becomes an internalized habit. Discipline turns motivation into self-motivation. And that is extremely important. Self-motivation is that force that keeps pushing us to go on. It's our internal drive to develop, produce, achieve, and when we are ready to quit, self-motivation will keep you going. And that's where you want to be. You need self-motivation if you want to be there for the long run. Self-motivation is a force, and like any force, you need some energy. And that's ultimately your responsibility to do it. You can do it every day for 10 minutes, or maybe it's weekly, but ultimately it's your responsibility to put the gasoline in the car. And if you do that, you will have a car that will run for a long time. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe share a video with a friend who might benefit from it. I will go now. Thank you, everyone, and see you later.